Alright, y'all, so it's Tuesday, the 29th of May, and I spent most of the day working on that new Dragon Ball Heroes video that I got coming out very, very soon about the Mass Saiyans. But I thought, because it's going to take a few days to get that done, I thought it'd be more fun to today, since, we're having just a chill Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and go back into the Ask FM and answer your questions. Because these Q&As have been a lot of fun lately, and I've been doing one every, 2 or 3 weeks. I don't want to do them too often, because I don't want to fill up this channel with Q&As. It's just like, whatever. Even though I enjoy doing them, they're a lot of fun. I had to mix and match the content I put out. So I want to go ahead and answer some of your questions here from the Ask FM, and we're just gonna have a chill little evening tonight and talk about Dragon Ball. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first question is one that I can't answer. What a way to start. Why hasn't Amazon released Dragon Ball Z Kai Season 4 digital download? They've only released 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. I don't work for Amazon. I literally can't answer that question because I don't know anything about what Amazon does. So I'm sorry about that one. I don't know why they haven't released it. Why do Gogeta have red hair? Great question. It's one that's been discussed in the fandom for many years. I know Expert Games did a video on it like 3 years ago about Gogeta having red hair. The real answer is that there is no answer, in the sense of it's never really explained. All you can do is just sort of have theories. One thing I will tell you is that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta or whatever, or Gogeta, that's not Super Saiyan God. I know some people who may have come into Dragon Ball late or may not be aware of the release order of things or whatever the case may be. Some might believe like, oh, he must be a God form. Or maybe somebody like in 20 years who's just getting into Dragon Ball, maybe they start watching Super before GT and they get confused. That's one thing that I could totally see happening. No, the red hair on Gogeta is definitely not the same red hair that Goku has when he goes God. The red hair... Some have theorized, and this is wacky, that because it's two SS4s fusing, it makes SS8, which that's not the case at all, but that is an awesome theory here. It's very funny. I think it was just a design choice by the creators of Nakatsuru, whoever it was that originally designed Gogeta, to make him seem a lot stronger than he actually is. Goku and Vegeta have black hair when they transform into SS4, which is their natural hair color, of course. With Gogeta, I feel like they chose red hair because it's a stronger color. It's a more vibrant color to kind of let everybody know just how strong and fierce this new fusion is. Because it really makes no sense. Gogeta and other fusions have never been able to have this miraculous new hair color. That's never been a thing, with Metamor and Fusion. But that's the best explanation. There's no in-universe explanation for it. At least I've never seen an interview that explains it. So it's just something they chose to make it look cooler. Michonne Ware says, you say you can't get into One Piece because it's too long, so the perfect thing for you would be the episodes of One Piece that are singular episodes summarize the entire arcs and even entire sagas of the series. It's up to you, but the option is open. I didn't even know that existed. I think you're talking about clip shows, which again, clip shows have been like a thing in television, American television, for years. Every season or every couple seasons, you'll have a TV show do a clip show where they'll just show clips of previous episodes. It's a thing they do to kind of, to be honest with you, to save money and to go on the cheap. When One Piece, though, because of how long it is, I didn't even know that existed. So thank you for telling me that. Because he's right. I can't really start One Piece right now because I have so many different shows to get into and so many Dragon Ball stuff to do. And I'm just really busy. I'm into a lot of different things. Like, I like sports. I've been watching the NBA, and don't even get me started on the NBA. You can go on my Twitter and see what I thought about those games the last couple of days. But, I'm into that. I'm into wrestling, even though I haven't been watching it that much lately. Still watch a little MMA. I like different kinds of sports and doing different things throughout the day. So it's more so about time. And One Piece is really long. And I would like to see it, I think. So next question, is Goku Universal Level? If so, why? I think so, but many others disagree with me. I argued that when Goku originally became an SSG, him and Beerus were matching punches, that they were about to destroy the universe. He was at least half universal at that point. He's much more than double power now. I mean, yeah, you answered your own question right there. And I've talked about this before many times. The one argument that power scalers have used to really show how strong Goku is from the Dragon Ball Super anime, when him and Beerus are causing problems to the fabric of the universe. You know, that's a major scene. That was not in the original movie. And that scene, I think, has skewed the scale up tremendously. Tremendously. And when you stack on top of that the various training upgrades that Goku got, Blue, Kaioken Blue, the different fights and Zenkais he got against Goku Black, the Universe 6 tournament, of course, and of course all the training he did going into the battle with Jiren and then Ultra Instinct, yeah, I would say Goku is beyond Universal Level by the end of Dragon Ball Super. Here's a question. Why do you think Android 16 did not came back to life after the Dragon's Wish while Android 17 did? This is answered within the confines of the series, but it's elaborated on more with the guidebooks. 16 is not the same kind of Android 17 is. 17 and 18 are synthetic cyborgs, essentially. They are human beings that have enhancements with technology. Have a video coming out on this very soon. 16 is all mechanical. He has no soul. And thus, if you have no soul, then you can't be brought back to life. That's essentially what it is. However, one could always, I suppose, make a wish saying, you know, Eternal Dragon, can you repair 17? You know, I assume that could happen, but will he have the same memories that he had before he died? That's always been a question for debate. I couldn't answer that. If Kakarot's pod landed on Coruscant instead of Earth, which Jedi Master would he train from, and do you believe Order 66 could have been halted by Kakarot? Well, considering that Goku, even in like mid-Dragon Ball, was able to compete against Master Roshi who can blow up moons, yeah, I think Goku could have probably taken on the Empire by himself. I mean, you know, you saw what he did to, you know, the Red Ribbon Army. And don't even get me started on Dragon Ball Z Goku. So yeah, he definitely could have stopped Order 66 if he wanted to. I don't think the Emperor or Vader could have beaten Goku by the time we get to like the 22nd tournament. I just don't see it. I just don't think it's possible. Excuse me. That being said, who would he train from? I could see, I mean, he was a baby, so I could definitely see any of those Jedi Masters do it. Mace Windu, Yoda, any of them could do it. Ki-Adi-Mundi, they all could do it. Since Cell, now this is a great question. I looked at this question a minute ago as I was preparing for the Q&A. I don't usually read questions before I record, but I saw this question, it stood out to me, and it's a good question. It's a very good question. Since Cell has Piccolo's DNA, and it was already proven that he can regenerate and produce offspring the same way that Namekians do, could he also use the other Namekian abilities like Giant Form and Namekian Fusion with the cells from other timelines? Well, the Giant Form is something we only see Piccolo do. I don't remember Nail or any of those other guys doing it. And, you know, yes, the answer to the first one about Giant Form is yes. I fully believe that Cell could do it because we've actually seen in the series when Cell gets big. I mean, we see him sort of do something like that. As he's fighting Gohan, he grows big and he gets buff. And a lot of people assume that him getting buff is his version of like Trunks's, you know, Super Saiyan Grade 3, which it is, but he's also bigger. See, Trunks got more buff, but if you go back and watch that fight, when Cell gets really pissed off at Gohan, he actually grows in height. In fact, when he pukes up 18, remember, 18 is a full-size female, and he pukes her up out of his mouth. So he had to have been bigger. So we actually do see him do Giant Form. And I think a lot of people, one of the issues with Cell is that we know that what Cell can do because the series explains to us that Cell has the cells from yada yada yada. But because we never see Cell do the Kaioken or the Genki Dama, the Spirit Bomb, people just assume he can't do it because we never see him do it. But remember, just as we don't see somebody do something does not mean they can't do it. Same thing with the idea of Cell becoming Golden Cell. Did a video like 2 or 3 years ago, I think, with Mike from Laughing Stock Media about this. We talked about, you know, can Cell do Golden Cell? And theoretically, because he has Frieza's cells, because Frieza never trained, if Cell trained for 4 months, it's logical, a bit of a retcon, because the Cell Saga came out years before Resurrection F, in fact, decades, literally like 13 years before 11 years before Resurrection F came out, something like that, 11, 12 years. You know, but he could still do it if we use the entire series as, you know, data. You know what I'm saying? As far as the Namekian fusion goes, that's a tough one because even though Cell has the cells of Namekians, he is not a Namekian. See what I'm saying? His body is basically bioengineered. So that's tough for me to answer. I assume that Cell would just absorb to get power. So I don't believe, just based on his genetic structure, that he could do the Namekian fusion. I don't think he can do that. But again, I could be wrong. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I don't think that's one that he could do based on his body more so than his actual internal cells. So, next question. Based on his horrified reaction to future Zeno, wiping both him and the future timeline he corrupted as infinite Zamasu out of existence, did Zamasu ever know about Zeno? If so, should he have not gone with his Zero Mortals plan? It's the way it's implied to me, and this is kind of weird, but I don't think every god knows about Zeno. Like, I feel like just how the way he was introduced in Super, and again, he is a character that's new, so again, here we go again with retconning. Like, you know, in Dragon Ball Z, did Kai Osama know about the Omni King way back when, right? We don't know that, but it's kind of implied that he did, and it's almost like maybe the higher tier gods, like the Supreme Kais, Gods of Destruction, Angels, they know about Zeno, but I feel like the more you trickle down, right, the less you know. And it's possible that Gowasu never told Zamasu about Zeno. You know, it is possible because, yeah, you would think that if Zamasu knew about Zeno, and if Zamasu knew that Zeno could have stopped him while he was doing his terrorizing with Goku Black in the future timeline, why didn't he do something about Zamasu? Like, why didn't it would get the Super Dragon Balls again and maybe wish for Zeno to lose his power or something? See, there's a lot of things about that arc there's a lot of logic holes in that arc that when you really sit down and think about it, you're like, well, either Zamasu never knew about Zeno, he was never told by Gowasu, or he did know, and it's just like, well, we don't need Zeno until now, which is, again, very contrived writing. That's your answer. Who do you think would win, 17 or Frieza? If Frieza could he take on both androids? Thanks, keep up the great work. We're talking about Tournament of Power, because obviously in Z it's a different story. In Z, 17 will mop the floor with Frieza, not including Resurrection F. But in Super, I do think that True Golden Frieza is probably more powerful than 17. But it's tough because 17 showed so much in this tournament. He showed so much stamina, which, I mean, of course, the androids have much, much, much higher stamina because their androids are artificial humans. But I still think that True Golden Frieza max power could probably beat, I think could beat 17. As far as Frieza taking on both androids, that's a great question, actually. Maybe I'll do a poll or something about this, because it would be tougher for Frieza to take on two opponents. And I think that Frieza could beat 18 and 17 individually. But when we're talking about together, it's one of those things where they are brother and sister. They've worked together before. And it's one of those things where, you know, the 2-on-1 advantage might actually hurt Frieza. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to go with Frieza, but I'm not too confident in my choice. Let's keep going. Do you think the idea of Kaba is what they originally wanted to do with Tarble? That's actually a great question, because there are similarities there in that, you know, Tarble is Vegeta's legitimate little brother who was introduced in the Yo Son Goku 2008 special. That is Vegeta's legit brother, little brother, and he came out of nowhere, and Vegeta still had some love for him, but still saw him as kind of a weakling. With Kaba, you can tell that Vegeta has a lot of love for the kid, and he wants to take him under his wing at some point, which could be the plot of the new Dragon Ball Super movie or some arc later on, the Sadala arc, whatever. So it makes sense that somebody would think that, like, hey, maybe Kaba was created to replace Tarble, but there was really no reason to even replace Tarble. And the weird thing about Tarble is that of all the characters that we've seen, he never came back. Like, we saw him in Yo Son Goku. He's in Dokkan Battle. I think he's in Heroes, but he has no major storyline there. I don't think he's in Xenoverse, though. I don't remember seeing him in any of the Xenoverse games. None, actually. So, I don't really understand if they're ever going to use him again. It's very weird. And Tarble is a Toriyama creation. He was created for that special that Toriyama wrote. It's rare that they just drop a character like that. So I understand where you're coming from, but I don't know exactly. I doubt it, because Kaba has his own arc to go through. But the Vegeta connection makes sense. Would you rather sleep with 18 and have 97% chance of being sliced in half by Kienzan, or do every panel shirtless at Kamehakon 2? I would have loved to have done every panel shirtless at Kamehakon 2. I don't think they wanted to see my titties there, but I would have loved to have done it because it was hot as hell in that building. But sleeping with 18 sounds like a nice thing. You know? Wacky question. Deadpool 2, I guess you did notice Will Smith in Deadpool 2. He was the pilot that tells X-Force we're getting close to their destination. I did not notice that, actually. I haven't heard anybody even talk about that. And, like, I even watched Emergency Awesome's video with the Easter eggs. I don't recall him ever mentioning Will Smith. So I'm going to double check on this when I get done recording this video. But you might want to double check on that and make sure it's accurate, because I didn't even hear about that. Okay. I'm going to do a video about this, but I'm going to answer the question now. Have you done a video about Goku versus Frieza when Frieza knocked SSJ Goku into a lava planet on planet Namek? Did he die? Did Popo's wish to revive everyone who died by Frieza's hands, including SSJ Goku, in the lava, or was he alive the whole time? He never died. He was alive the whole time. That episode has created tons of confusion. That's Dragon Ball Z episode 100, actually, when Gohan goes back to fight Frieza. About 80% of that episode is filler. It's not in the manga. Frieza knocks Goku down into the lava, and then Goku's out for most of the episode, and then he comes back. But if you actually watch the episode, the revival was like done like a while before Goku came back, if I remember correctly. And also, if Goku had died, they would have mentioned it. Not to mention, we didn't even see Goku appear in the other world. So no, Goku did not die there. Goku did not die there, because if he did die, no, he didn't die. If he did die, they would have acknowledged it. You know what I mean? They would have said, okay, Goku's dead. And King Kai didn't even allude to it. So, no, that's a huge misconception. I'm going to do a video about it soon. I will do a video about that soon, maybe sometime later this year. It's going to be a Mythbusters episode, because most of the Mythbusters I have coming up are for bigger topics than that, but that one's still going to be talked about. How do you think the story would change if Mr. Satan trained under Roshi together with Goku and Krillin? He definitely would have been stronger. He would have been a challenge, I think, for a while, but Mr. Satan is a big, con artist, so I think eventually Goku and Krillin would have surpassed him. I don't even know if Satan could ever even come close to even touching Goku, even back then. See what I'm saying? So it would have been kind of cool, actually, to think about that. He would have definitely been stronger. Alex Rodriguez, is going to be the last question, okay? Who would win in a full 1-versus-1 Jiren or Goku, because they kept on trying to jump Jiren? I think if you watch the anime, when Goku did Mastered Ultra Instinct and got mad, he was able to get one up on Jiren. So I think Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku could beat Jiren, even though Jiren was tired. Now, if we're talking about full power Jiren, not tired, versus Goku, there's a good chance Jiren will take him. It's almost implied, like you said, that because Jiren was so tired that Goku was able to beat him. If Jiren had not been tired, Jiren might have taken it. I really believe he would have. So if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts. That is the last question for this Q&A. I had fun doing these. There's a few pretty cool ones coming up here, which I'll probably get to next time if we don't get full with more questions. But I hope you all have a great day, and I got some interesting videos coming out this week, including one on Dragon Ball Z Legends, the PS1 game. We're going to go back to 1996, and those of you who have been around for a long time and played that game, you'll enjoy the video. If you didn't play that game, check out the video, because it's one of the first great Dragon Ball games. Like before Budokai, before Burst Limit, Xenoverse, that was one of the all-time great. In fact, I would say for maybe 5-6 years, that was the best Dragon Ball Z game, in my opinion. So we're going to talk about that, and of course, more Heroes videos, and some really interesting videos this weekend that I have planned, that I've had planned for a while. I don't know exactly which ones are going up yet, though. I have a bunch of videos that are done on my hard drive, and I have to pick which ones go up. So, there you go. Thank you, hope you have a good one, and I'll see you soon.